Yo, what is up guys, and welcome, it's InfernoKun, back with another video talking about The Walking Dead, the final season, episode 3. No news for that as of right now, but of course Skybound Games and Ian of Skybound is keeping us in the loop as far as whenever news is coming. We do not know yet, but they say soon. But we don't know when is soon, okay? But he did mention that he wants to wait for some meaningful news, so that's very good. They won't be feeding us just, little scraps of news. He's waiting for a big announcement, which is definitely really great to hear. So stay tuned. As soon as they give us the details, I'll be able to share them with you guys on the channel here. But also, regarding the channel, okay? So for the most part, thank you all for 16K subscribers. Went up that extra 1K, which is definitely really awesome. But today's video is about AJ. And of course, I did let you guys vote on the community section of my channel between AJ's video, James, Lily, or Abel. And that won by about 5%. So let's go ahead and jump into AJ's video discussing his progress so far and what could happen with the choices that we have for him in episode 3. So looking back at episode 1, we do have a couple choices that affect AJ a little bit, him being able to learn how to, I guess, search a building that hasn't really come into effect yet. You can go ahead and choose to find a way out, find somewhere to hide, or check the windows. Hopefully that is used and we can see if he actually listened to us, and depending on what we chose, he will actually do it. That'd be very, very cool. But he did use this one, which was never hesitate, always aim for the head, or save the last bullet for yourself, as his reason for shooting and killing Marlon. So hopefully, I'm not sure if that will come into fruition in episodes 3 or 4, but I'm sure if things hit the fan, that save the last bullet for yourself thing could be a possibility. I'm not sure. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. But moving on, regarding him swearing, that has been used quite a lot. It's definitely a very, very nice detail, whether he swears or not. He even asked you to go ahead and let him swear in episode 2. You can kind of go ahead and give him a limit, which was definitely a really cool detail there. Then as far as, killing the Walker couple in episode 1, that one has not been explored yet. And that could be a really cool choice that could affect his morality a little bit. What if his morals aren't really too great if you went ahead and killed the Walker couple in front of him instead of sparing the humanity that they once had? That could be an interesting little choice that could affect AJ in the future episodes. Now, as far as episode 2 is concerned, okay, we do have choices that affect him, not really to a big extent, but we do have the option to go ahead and tell AJ as Clementine that his murder, his killing of Marlon, is actually considered murder, or that it is justified based upon his actions, okay? That could be a really big choice that could affect AJ, his morals, and that could also affect the group because they were there to witness what you told AJ, which is definitely a really cool choice that I really hope gets fleshed out in episode 3 and 4. Maybe he says some things that is based upon that particular choice. That'll be very, very awesome. Then we have smaller choices that are pretty much letting him go on patrol or not, because he wanted to go ahead and show Clem and everyone else that he is able to stand up for himself. So letting him go on patrol or not could maybe end up, I'm not sure, it wasn't that big of a choice. And then we have the final one, which wasn't that big, was to give him dibs on Abel, okay? So that one definitely wasn't too big, but it did have a cool dialogue scene and animations that were there. A cool scene to show everybody that he is able to take out Abel, which is definitely really great as well. So maybe that could affect him being a little bit cocky because he was able to kind of weaken Abel a little bit and help out with that. But as far as that goes, those are all the choices that really involve AJ. But let's go ahead and talk about some of the things that happened in episode 2 that could end up being explored in episode 3. As far as that goes, we have him getting wounded, being shot by Abel's shotgun. That could possibly have, been completely healed because he was up and about in episode 2 later on. Granted, he did have a bit of pain, but he also had a fever, apparently. Maybe. I'm not sure. There is an option to go ahead and say that he has a fever, or that he could have a fever, which, would be an interesting concept there. What if AJ ends up getting sick, in episode 3 or something, where he's not really like hurting from like physical pain, but just, being a little bit sick due to not having to completely, recover from what happened to him in the whole Lily Abel scene. So, moving on from that, we do have his nightmares. So apparently AJ also has nightmares. Him and Clem both have nightmares about the night, or the, time at the McCarroll Ranch, and hopefully those will be explained, and, we'll get to see what AJ is kind of struggling with in terms of his nightmares, what is really bothering him, because there definitely is something bothering him to an extent. And I would love to see it from Clem's perspective, but also I want to hear what happened, from AJ's eyes as well. That would be very, very, very awesome. So, as far as episode 3 is concerned, it could end up being a pretty big episode for AJ. I do think episode 2 wasn't really focused on AJ too much. We did have him getting hurt, but that was pretty much it. So I hope episode 3 focuses on AJ, his development, his progression. That would definitely be really awesome. I want to see the choices that we made so far affect AJ, because at the beginning of episode 1, it said he's always listening and that our choices affect him. And we haven't really got to see that yet, and I really hope that we get to see that in episode 3, whether it be his attitude changing depending on our dialogue, or maybe even just actions that he ends up doing depending on the choices that we made so far. Okay, so looking forward to seeing all that, because episode 3 just might be focusing on Lewis and Violet as well as 10, so hopefully AJ is also on that list for characters that are being developed very, very well. I hope so. I want to see more from AJ and our choices actually affect him, because as of right now we know that we are probably going to launch some kind of rescue mission at the Delta camp to go ahead and get, Violet / Lewis, Asim, and of course Omar back. And that most definitely is a pretty cool opportunity to go ahead and let AJ shine in terms of him being our partner in trying to get them back, because he most likely will also be there to help us, because we are short-manned, and of course AJ wouldn't want to miss out on this kind of action right here. So maybe he ends up coming along with us, and he might make some choices of himself depending on the choices that we made and told him that could affect the outcome of the rescue mission or various things like that. That would definitely be very cool. So hopefully our teachings in episodes 1 and 2 do follow through to episode 3, and will change some things and branch out some things for AJ's character. I want to see him branch as well. We already do have Lewis or Violet branching. I want to see AJ branch as well, depending on our choices. That would be really cool to have him act differently if we go ahead and chose different things. That would definitely be cool. So what do you guys think about this discussion, this little thought about AJ being different if you chose different things in episodes 1 and 2? It's definitely an interesting concept, and it's what I'm thinking will happen regarding episodes 3 and 4, because we did have a confirmation that of course AJ will kind of be different, or just be shaped by our choices. So I forgot to mention this, but of course pushing Abel out the window, AJ was supportive of that action, which shows that he is more akin to the whole violent approach, which could further his whole violent agenda, which could end up for a really, really cool deviation for the most part. So maybe choices that we made that don't really directly involve AJ, he could be learning and seeing those choices and making his own depending on Clementine's actions. That would definitely be really cool as well. I can definitely see that happening in episode 3 and maybe even 4. So what do you guys think about all of this? It's definitely really interesting to go ahead and see and think about what AJ will end up doing in episode 3, depending on the choices we made in episodes 1 and 2. Is definitely really interesting. So go ahead and comment down below your thoughts and theories involving AJ in episode 3. Thank you all for watching. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more awesome Walking Dead content on the channel. Hopefully news will come soon, but I will catch you guys next time on The Walking Dead.